So the last exercise that we have in the basic warm-up and the basic flexibility is the backup. And it's fairly simple, but we need to make sure that we're getting it right. Now what we're trying to teach the horse here is that there's personal space bubbles, like in Dirty Dancing. It's my dance space and this is your dance space, okay? There's going to be no spongy spaghetti arms. So what we're going to do is, like we said, we're going to have happy ropes and we're going to ask him to back up. And it's when I step forward with my hip into his space, he needs to step away and step back. And what a lot of horses do is that they don't respect the space because they don't respect you. And, you know, in a herd, the wild horses will just push and shove on each other if they're higher in the pecking order, and the other horses just have to get out of the way. So what we're going to do here is to encourage him to move out of your space, is you're going to put your thumb into the fleshy part of his shoulder. Now, a lot of people are going to go, oh, don't poke your horse, that's horrible, oh, you're so mean. And if that's the way you're thinking, then yes, I am mean. I'm demanding a bit of respect. This is the only exercise of all four basic flexibility exercises where I demand that the horse listen to me. I'm not going to have leniency for a 400 kilo animal. So when we're asking him to back up, he needs to move backwards smartly and quickly. So when I'm stepping into his space, it needs to be stepping back with purpose, not just dragging the feet backwards and being all sloppy and spongy. And the reason that we ask them to back up smartly and respect the space is it's a safety thing. So that when a horse is out with you, maybe he's walking in hand, maybe you're at a show, if something spooks him, he's not going to just run over the top of you to get away. He's going to be aware of your personal bubble, and he's going to go around you or stand close and focus rather than just, lose his head. So we'll get into backing up and see how he kinks his ribs there. That's a perfectly normal, perfectly natural response for a young horse that doesn't want to do as they're asked. Kinking the ribs and sponging up is a lot easier than moving all 4 feet and moving them quickly. Those were good steps. That's what we're aiming for. And in future, I shouldn't even have to touch his shoulder. I should just have to use my voice, big energy, and ask him to back up. So when they sponge up their ribs like a slinky dog, you're going to change the direction of their feet and make them do more work. So he's got such a sulky look on his face, this horse, which is perfectly normal for a quiet horse. Quiet horses are usually a bit sulkier than others. So you'll notice he kinks his ribs again and he goes, nope, I don't want to do it. There we go. And so I make him go backwards and he has a lick in a chew and he shakes his head like he's saying, good God, I actually have to do work. It's exhausting having to move one's feet. So like we said, kinking the ribs, kinking the feet, that slows them up, and it's an excuse more than anything else. It's them going, I don't want to do it, I'd rather not, just stop asking me. So we'll bring him back forward again, get him to focus and move his feet. You notice he plays with the lead rope when it touches his chin a lot. I just ignore that. That doesn't derive from anything. So asking him more, back up, back up. That head up business is what I call lording over. And lording over it's another technique where they try and get you to, they look for a way out. So they distract you by putting their head up and saying, I'm bigger than you, you can't tell me what to do. And I'm sorry, but no, you do have to do as you're asked. So when we're doing that, we ask him even more in the shoulder. We use bigger voice, bigger energy, and if you need to, shorten up your lead rope and just not pulling on his head, but shortening up so that he can feel it and he has to move backwards. So even if he is being all spongy and kinked up in the ribs, make sure he moves himself. This is, like I said, this is the only exercise where I demand a result. So as we said in the previous exercises, it needs to be done 3 times in a row well. 1, 2, 3, good steps. Those are really good steps. And always reward effort, reward good trying. So we change the shoulders, you can change hands. Kinking the ribs, wants to get away, need to back up, head up. He's trying everything he can to get out of it. So there were 2 decent steps in there, but it's not enough. I want 3 to 4 good steps. Ask him to back up. Pressure, 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 pressure. More pressure. He's looking for a way out. He's had a few good steps, so I know he can do it well, and he knows he can do it well, but it is more work. Now that was a good step. And see, he's licking and chewing, and he goes, oh, that's the standard. That's the standard you want. Oh, it's hard work, he goes. But, this is the only time where he actually needs to move and move quickly. But, when they kink their ribs and they get doughy and they put their head up, you can't get cross at them because they don't know. They don't know the right answer. You have to show them the right answer. And once they know that the right answer is easier, because when they just go backwards, they get a release quicker. Whereas if they put their head up and they kink their ribs, you're going to keep haranguing them until they get it right. So it's a matter of showing them the easiest way to get things done. So we'll ask him once or twice more just to get a good result to finish on. Back up, back up. There we go. I haven't even had to touch his shoulder there, so he's finally had a breakthrough. So you notice how when he chewed his lips last time I gave him a big spell? So he had a chance to just relax and chill out. So we're going to ask him again, stepping into the space, big voice, step with purpose. Nice. And he's just backed up softly. That's really good. So for a young horse who doesn't care about personal space, I think that's a pretty good result.